You might be able to tell from that introduction that I do spend a bit of time at Toastmasters. I am a Toastmaster tragic. In fact, last week I came home late from Toastmasters and my wife said, "You spent so much time at Toastmasters, I'm sick of it, and stop asking me to become a member." I said, "Sarah, darling, whoa, thank you for that highly persuasive speech with beautiful vocal projection. I believe that speech would have been improved if you changed that tone. But overall, you met your objectives, and I look forward to your next performance." That was a highly effective gesture. That was the joke that I used at the start of the humorous speech that Jacqueline mentioned from a few years ago. And I'm going to share with you tonight, I guess, some of the things that go into trying to create a joke like that. Has anyone competed in humorous contests before? Anyone? Anyone delivered a humorous speech before? Anyone a comedian? So they'll know all this already. No, we've got no stand-up comedians in the audience, so we don't need to worry about it.
Aspiring counts.
What's that?
Aspiring counts.
Aspiring, that's good, so am I. So I guess what I've found is that, like that was a winning speech. Last year I went in the humorous contest again, and I actually didn't win. So actually, to me, that was a failure for me last year, but it was a bit of fun to go in anyway. But what I found is, I guess, delivering a joke can be very difficult. Has anyone found delivering a joke to be hard?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about trying to make a point? Is trying to make a point hard?
No.
No.
Easy to make a point?
Yeah.
Relatively easy.
Is it?
Easier.
Easier, yeah.
Easier? So how about when you try to make a point with laughter? How's that? When you try to combine the two together?
Not
No.
easy.
Not easy.
No.
I've found the same as well. So tonight I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've failed at doing, trying to deliver humour, and maybe some of the successes as well. So I want to give you, I guess, a formula that I've found through my research that helps if you do want to make a point with laughter. And I found that in the Bible.
Of course.
You wouldn't believe it, but there is a comedy Bible by Judy Carter. So I recommend it if you want to be a comedian or you're an aspiring comedian that you want to be. I recommend that book. That's been critical to me in terms of my humorous speaking to work out how to be more funny. So there's a formula I'm going to give you tonight for making a point with laughter. So if you've got a pen, or if you haven't got a pen or you want to write it down on your phone or something like that, write down the 6 letters tap and tap, two words.
Tap.
Tap, T-A-P, T-A-P, T-A-P.
Okay. Tap, tap, tap.
Tap twice.
How many times?
Just
Tap,
two
tap,
times.
tap, tap.
Just twice.
Tap, tap.
2 taps. I'm not going to tap dance, but I'm going to give you 2 taps.
Okay.
So the first T is the setup. First tap is the setup of a joke. So every joke's got a setup and a punchline. You've probably all heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
So the first T of the first tap is topic. So whenever you want to deliver a joke or a point, the topic is very important. So if people don't relate to that topic, they're not going to listen to you. If they don't relate to that topic, they're not going to laugh at you. So has anyone seen the comedian James Jeffley? He's an Australian comedian. I don't know whether you've seen him. Anyone seen him? So one of his most famous comedy routines, which I really, really like, I find it's really, really funny, is about gun control. Really, really funny. Australian comedian in the US, he's poking fun at the Americans. I find it really, really funny, but he's had death threats. He's had people, you know, the gun lobby don't like him at all. So my point is that pick a topic. While we might find it funny here, there might be people that don't find that funny at all and find it exactly the reverse of that. So whenever you're trying to deliver a joke or something funny, try to make sure you understand what the audience is. It's critical to being funny. So my humorous speech from 2014 was about Toastmasters. So I think, considering my audience was about 200 Toastmasters, I think it was a pretty relatable topic that everyone could laugh at and could relate to. If you look back at the winners from the last 15 years or so in the humorous speech in Toastmasters, probably 75% of them, their talk was about Toastmasters. So that's a tip for you. If you are a humorous speaker, if you want to do well in the humorous speech, I recommend doing a talk about Toastmasters. Last year's winner was about Toastmasters. David was about Toastmasters. The year before it wasn't, but the previous winners, Ryan Sutherland, his talk was about Toastmasters and stripping. Mine was about Toastmasters and getting married. So that's my tip for you on topic. Next one is attitude. Next A is attitude. So whenever you're delivering a joke, the setup, you want to have some form of attitude in there. So you would have seen with my joke that I delivered, I had a little bit of attitude in there. Firstly, my wife was very, very upset, and then my response back to her was trying to be a bit condescending and having attitude. Comedy Bible has got 4 attitudes that they recommend that you use whenever you're trying to deliver a joke. So I'm going to give them to you as well, so you might want to write these ones down as well. Weird, hard, strange, or scary. Weird, hard, strange, or scary. So the one I like to use the most is hard. That seems to be, I'll be able to turn that into a joke. So the joke that I just delivered at the start of this speech, and my whole speech that I delivered, the word I used was hard, and the topic I was basically talking about was that it's hard to be married to a Toastmaster. That was what my whole speech was about, basically. So just selecting that one word and coming up with a topic, combine the word hard with Toastmaster, basically that's enough to create a joke. And the P is premise, or you could also say the point. So whenever you are delivering a joke, you do want to have something serious in there to start, to set them up. I guess that's what the setup is something serious before you give them the punchline. So, as I said in my humorous speech, the premise was it's hard to be married to a Toastmaster. Last year, my humorous speech was about gambling. I know Jacqueline was there and saw that one as well. Now, I picked a topic that wasn't about Toastmasters. Maybe that's why I didn't actually win last year. I did a humorous speech about gambling, and my point was I used the word basically it's strange or scary. Basically my point was that gambling is stupid. Basically that was the point of my speech. That's what the whole speech was about. But for some people that might be funny. I find it funny, but to people who gamble, they may not find what I was talking about funny, a bit like Jeff Lee talking about the Game Patrol may not have found it funny as well. So we're going to do a bit of an example in a sec where we can try to use the premise as well. Anyone went to I know Aiming was there, the humorous contest a few weeks ago? Who was there a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, humorous contest. So Cleo, what was her speech about?
Bras.
Bras.
Bra fittings.
What was her premise?
It's hard to find a
Straight.
It's hard to find a bra.
Yeah, or being
Yeah.
told what suits you.
Hard to find a bra, basically. So she's, to me, like her whole speech was about how to find a bra. It's hard to find a bra, that's what it was all about. How about the winner, Fiona? What was her speech about?
It's that names can really get you into trouble.
It's hard to pronounce names, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
There you go. So again, those to me, watching those speeches, and you see lots of comedians, they'll use the same thing, the words weird, hard, strange, or scary, but the most common ones I seem to be seeing people use is hard. It's most easy way to try to make a point and get people to laugh with it. So we move on to the punchline. So what does every bit of humour have in it? Normally has a twist. So you've turned something that was what people thought it was going to happen and twisted it around into something else. So in the joke that I just gave at the start of this speech, I guess the normal reaction to when your wife abuses you and says you're home late would be, you get all defensive or argue back or something like that. I guess the twist was for me to deliver an evaluation Toastmaster style to her speech. So that was what you want to think about, is whenever delivering. Oh, I've got a green light already. Gee, I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to have to give you the rest of it pretty quickly then. So the next one is A, act out. So I guess my joke was, it's hard to be married to a Toastmaster because you always, whenever you talk to them, they give you an evaluation. That was basically the joke that I was delivering there. But did I say that as my joke? No, I acted it out. Ming just gave us a joke before where her father talked about, that you're 6,000 miles on the other side of the world and you're still hearing your arguments. She didn't say, my dad, said that. She acted it out and she said it in the voice of her father, and that's why we all laughed. So whenever you're delivering a joke, you want to actually physically deliver it in the words that the person is saying to you or back to you. So every joke should not just be you read it out, it should be two people having dialogue, for some of them, one person responding to make the funny response. And the last one is the punch word. So always with a joke, the funny part is right at the end. The last word is typically where you actually get the joke. So if you saw my joke, the joke that I just had at the start, the funny words were always at the end. So I believe this speech, this speech would have been better if you changed the tone. So the tone was the funny word at the end. Thank you for that wonderful performance. Like, performance is the funny word where I'm abusing. That's the twist to the word. I think that was an amazingly effective gesture. So the gesture is the like I'm twisting the slap of being a gesture, but it was also what we use in our language as a gesture. So you always want the funny twist that you've got to be the last word within the joke. I'm on a red light already, so I've run out of time. I've broken your rule.
It's all right.
So,
it's just been implemented tonight.
So I'm going to leave. I recommend if you want to do more, read the Bible. And thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Oh, thanks.